threat of disaster is never pleasant.
Welcome to the Casual Preppers podcast.
These safety measures are essential.
The only place for prepping, survival, and entertainment.
This will be your source of survival instructions and information. Every member of the family must be coached in the business of survival.
Here are your hosts, Cam and Kobe.
Welcome.
We will give you a podcast now. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Episode 3.
Yeah. Episode 3.
Of
Indeed. Future of Survival.
Future of Survival.
I probably sound like a robot a bit
Little
today.
bit.
Got a little bit of cold down in the throat.
You got that COVID in there?
So
COVID lung?
couldn't get the robot to stand in for me this week. Not running too good.
Believe me, I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
But yeah, so I mean, we've already talked about some pretty cool stuff, I think.
I think so. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
Don't even remember what it was.
It's been too long. Right?
But yeah, listen. Technology is reshaping survival in ways we never expected.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? There is a huge push for humanoid robots, AI takeover, not takeover, but we're getting all of this like force fed to us.
We are.
And it's like trying to, swallow it all from a fire hose.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's going to change a lot in our lives. And that's why, of course, why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Because we need to prepare for it. Jobs, security, privacy, and even survival itself is changing.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we prepare for a world where robots are everywhere?
I don't know, but I mean, I'm just glad that it's finally happening.
Yeah. Go watch iRobot.
That's right.
That's probably
read
the best way to prepare.
Yeah, for sure. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, though, I got to tell you about BattleBox. It's the monthly subscription box full of solid gear for adventure seekers, survivalists, outdoor enthusiasts, and robots. Each month, BattleBox sends you the coolest selection of hand-picked outdoor survival and everyday carry gear, all valued at far more than what you normally pay. You never know what's in the next box, but here's a sampling of what users received this month. The My Medic Sidekick Standard, the Glow Rhino Fermi 2 BattleBox exclusive EDC knife.
I've used it for like 2 weeks.
I'm carrying it all month. All of this badassness starts at just $34.99 per month. They've shipped over 1 million boxes and won Best Subscription Box of 2020. Our listeners get 15% off when you sign up at battlebox.com/casualpreppers. Get your first BattleBox and 15% off at battlebox.com/casualpreppers.
Yes.
Maybe they'll do a robot box one day.
I hope so.
That'd be pretty sweet.
A robot survival box protects us against robots.
Because, I mean, what do the experts say? What are the predictions about the next 5 to 10 to 15 years when it comes to robots? And like kind of specifically, these humanoid robots are really the next big thing that is.
It's kind of funny because like in the 80s, you thought that it was coming, but there's just so much for them to overcome to be able to build them. Well, that's changed.
It's changed and it's changing fast. Our friend Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what he predicts?
We've never had anybody like that. Like,
no.
Put so much money towards stuff.
So he predicts, this is an insane number, 10 billion humanoid robots by 2040.
Humanoid?
Humanoid robots. Yeah, they think that the largest percentage of all robots are going to be humanoid.
That's insane.
By 2040, and that's not that far away, Cam. We're talking 15 years, right?
Yeah.
10 billion. And they're each going to be priced around $20,000 to $25,000. Like, they're reasonable. Like, that's really not that bad. That's a cheap side-by-side. At that point, there's only going to be 9 billion people. So what he's envisioning is a future where there are more humanoid robots than humans.
I got to have 2 to help me out in the garden.
That's how it's going to be, right? Yeah. Goldman Sachs, they forecast $38 billion market for humanoid robots by 2035. That's within the next 10 years. And this is going to be driven by demand in manufacturing and logistics and domestic care. City analysts say the robotics industry, and this is not just humanoid robots, this is the broader robotics industry, can hit 6 to 7 trillion in the next 25 years. So why should
What
we
is
care?
happening?
I know.
It's so weird.
This is insane. We've talked about it for so long, and like nothing has ever happened in robots. All of the sudden,
it's always been like a cool fantasy, but it's happening.
Like the Jetsons, it's becoming a real thing here, and a lot of it's due to AI. Right, we're finally like making some
those
headway.
videos of these humanoid robots walking around, getting pushed around, abused.
I know, that's scary.
Their creators.
Really, it's scary. And I was always wondering, like, why humanoid? Why do they have to look like us? There's a reason because
I want to know that reason.
our entire world is built for humans.
Yeah.
And so if it's
Like,
built for
so
humans,
it's more useful for
it's
them.
more
too.
useful.
So I know there's a study where they found like people have a harder time accepting things that look humanoid.
Yeah, I
so
know.
that's a weird.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a dichotomy there.
I think
for
I'd
sure.
rather like a full on like square box
I would
looking
too.
robot.
I
I'd feel
think-
like, okay,
yeah.
you can tell this isn't me.
But I think they're looking for mass adoption, and if they
Makes
look,
sense.
like it might be more normal to have a robot that looks like a human sitting on the couch next to you that you talk to.
Yeah.
Not a box that looks like a microwave or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But the thing is like everything is built to the height and the width of humans, and so it just
It
makes
does
sense
make more sense
to make them like
Makes
that,
more
right?
sense.
And this is the thing is this is no longer hypothetical. Robots are here, and they're coming more quickly. In the next 10 years, it's going to be the most insane
Breeding,
thing.
spawning like
gosh,
rabbits.
They are. You know, and you can always tell when that's going to happen when these trillion-dollar financial institutions, they're projecting mass adoption. It's a signal. Things are happening. So that's why we decided we needed to discuss this because
And we have to accept it.
we have to. What are we going to do? We can't just say no.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're not putting that in the store you own.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to come to the store, you're going to have to deal with it,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
preppers need to start thinking about that kind of tech and how it will affect a lot of things like employment and infrastructure and personal safety and preparedness, all of those things. This isn't just about like having anti-robot gear. Really, it's about
You can have that if you want.
you can, yeah. It's about understanding the landscape that gear is going to be used in and that we're going to be living in. That's the whole point of this whole series, right? So where are robots right now and where are they going? And what are some of the current capabilities? And when you look at things like manufacturing and logistics, they're being used all over with like Amazon and Tesla and others.
Yeah.
They're automating their warehouse and assembly line. If you've ever seen them, it's the most crazy thing to watch. Just robots doing everything.
It's insane.
It's insane. Healthcare, Cam's field of study and work, they are using them more and more now. Have you seen the Moxie, the nurse assistant robots?
The MoxiePod.
It's a MoxiePad, yeah. No, it's like this robot that just like fetches stuff for nurses.
No,
it's
that's
crazy,
great.
dude.
No, I haven't seen that.
Because they said like 30% of nurses' time is just like going and getting stuff for patients. And this is something that just goes and does that for them, which is so crazy. There's obviously surgical robots.
Dude, the surgical robots, it sounds creepy, you know, and right now it's mostly controlled by the human remotely or in, but the things and places that they can get to cut cancer and stuff, like we need, like, I'm full in support of it.
Me too. Security and defense. And this is where it gets really weird because there are like these patrol bots that they're starting to deploy now. Boston Dynamics has Spot that used for like law enforcement and military. And then obviously AI surveillance systems. That's where it's
Didn't
going to
we do like an episode of Little Patrolling
Yeah, that
bot
little that had like the flamethrower. Remember that thing? It's getting nuts, right? But
it's the first thing I would load on
Me
any
too.
security bot. It's a
Flamethrower.
flamethrower.
Perfect weapon.
What weapons we could go with? One that'll char any like
Everything
robber
in
or
the-
anything.
Anything in the like a 5-mile radius, you
Yeah.
just get burned.
You want to commit a crime, you're gonna get burned.
Yeah,
okay?
good luck. So what's on the near horizon though for this stuff? And I think the biggest thing that people are seeing is the domestic assistance robots. So Tesla has Optimus, which is freaking looks amazing, going to be amazing. And Agility Robotics has Digit. They're both targeting like in-home roles, and they're going to start cleaning and cooking and caregiving.
Dude, I can't
In
tell
the
you
house.
how much the caregiving part I think is
agree.
going to be massive. Like baby boomers, everybody's kind of like we have a huge population of aging people, and
they're so
we
hard.
can't take care of them.
No.
And it sucks to take
It's
care of them.
hard, dude.
Because we were talking about this just with my wife's family and stuff.
Yep.
It's like, man, if she could, like her grandma, you know, if you could have somebody in there to just kind of helps her take her medicine, answer phones, turn on the TV, change show, like that would be incredibly
It's
useful.
coming, man. It really is in the next
Paying
10 years.
$20,000 for that versus in 3 months at a care center, that's $20,000.
Exactly. So I think that's going to really change the game. It's going to be great, but again, there's going to be downfalls and
Scary
and things
stuff,
we
too.
got to talk about. AI
You don't want
companions.
this show? Smash her head.
No more Little House on Prairie. I will kill everyone.
John Wayne is dead. Throws her through the window.
Exactly. Oh man. AI
That's
companions. Robots like Amica by Engineered Arts. That thing is creepy. AI-driven avatars are being developed to provide emotional support and conversation. I think that's another big thing with like the elderly is just someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Even if that someone is a robot. right?
But if it sounds like you,
Who cares?
talk to me all day.
Talk to me all day long. I'm the best grandson ever.
Listen to myself.
Yeah. Get one this year.
Should we go get something to drink?
I knew you wanted to do that. Yeah, exactly.
High-fiving your robot like all day.
Dude, I would. Can you imagine if you had a clone of yourself?
Oh, I'd love that.
So rad.
You could
Just like
take
a
few
little buddy that wants to do
tasks out of
everything you want to do too. You know?
Yeah.
Loves all the same movies you do. So awesome.
Want to play a 2-player game on PlayStation? That'd be awesome.
Can't beat
No
myself.
one wants to play these old games.
Yeah. Robots with limited or no human oversight are being tested for high-risk tasks like search and rescue, combat support, and remote maintenance. So those things, again, huge shift in robot action going on right there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Love that robot action.
I do too, man. But this is a shift, right? Once robots are making decisions without humans, we're in very new territory here.
Yeah.
Mostly, like Cam said, like the medical ones, they're mostly have a human behind them.
Exactly.
Very soon, and starting now,
It'll be autonomous.
there's going to be autonomous, and that gets a little weird, right? So from a preparedness standpoint, that means planning for a world where some of the most powerful people don't sleep, feel, or need permission to act.
Wow.
They just do.
That's scary.
Yeah. But it's also cool.
Yeah, it
Scary
is
cool.
And we do have some, like, a piece
Yeah,
on,
for sure.
like, some of the benefits from
Yeah,
all
there's going
this,
to be
right?
benefits for sure.
Well, let's talk about some of the no benefits.
The risks.
Yeah, so risks of robotic-dominated future.
Yeah.
Mass unemployment.
Yeah.
Obviously, if a robot can flawlessly do your job, be consistent, never show up sick or late, man.
Doesn't talk back.
There's a lot of that I'd already replace
Cheaper.
with a robot.
Cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. So
Doesn't mess up words. Yeah, you know?
well, I guess my podcast duties are over
Exactly.
soon. The most immediate and widely discussed risk is the potential for widespread job displacement, obviously. This will occur across numerous sectors as robots become capable of performing increasingly complex. See? Right there.
Yeah.
And be replaced.
Cam, you must leave now.
Complex.
You had one try.
And repetitive tasks.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do it more efficient. They can do it at a better cost. And they also, like, employers don't have to worry about, there's a lot of jobs that bodily harm is a risk.
Sure.
And if you can put a robot in there that its arm gets chopped off and it can be replaced, you know,
Exactly.
it's like, they're going to do that.
For sure.
So yeah, there's a lot of jobs at risk. The other thing is increased economic inequality.
Yeah.
So he who controls the robots controls the universe, right?
Pretty much.
Because like you were mentioning, like these billion-dollar industries and you know, gurus, like if they want to replace most of their system with robots, they will, and they can.
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Wealth and power could become concentrated in the hands of those who own and control the robots and the technology behind them. And so you get a bigger, you know...
it's already that way, right? There's already a wealth discrepancy, but it's
going to push it further apart.
I think so.
The
Maybe
rich
not,
just
though.
keep getting richer.
Maybe not. There's theories that's not 100%
Yeah.
true.
I'm hoping so.
I'm hoping
and I
so,
can
too.
see the other way too, where
Right.
it could actually be a really good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, a lot of change with robotics. The other thing is the devaluation of human labor.
Yeah.
If robots can perform most jobs more efficiently and cheaply, the value placed on human labor could diminish, leading to lower wages, precarious employment for those who still have jobs.
Yeah.
You think you feel worthless now?
Yeah, wait.
Until a robot takes your job.
I do think, though, it will put a huge markup and value on handmade goods.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like real, like person-made things.
Etsy's
whether
gonna go
it's
nuts.
art and what?
Etsy's going to explode.
Etsy's we ought to just be putting some money into Etsy stock.
It's true because
You
it
know.
could potentially
Tesla and Etsy.
like handmade,
Exactly.
unique brain.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but there are other things that are kind of concerning your security and privacy threats.
Yeah, this is scary.
So you get 10 billion robots
Mm-hmm.
throughout the world, you know, 1.5 per human or whatever that, you know, less than that. Just,
1.1 per human or
yeah,
something.
1.1 per human. And they're all there listening, learning,
Watching.
watching. Yeah, seriously.
I
That's
know.
pretty creepy. So
Yeah.
AI surveillance will be everywhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to be private.
We think like
With
Facebook
anything.
is stealing our data. Wait till Facebook meta robots in your bathroom with you. doing,
Don't crap on me. You need more protein.
You need to wipe better than that, mister.
I'd actually like that. Can analyze my turd.
Well,
and be like,
that's coming.
I know it's got to be coming, right?
It's coming, yeah.
Nothing like building, an electronic device that
I know
you crap on.
Your wife told me to not let you have any more skid marks. Wipe better, mister.
I thought you were saying your wife should not have any more Skittles.
Skittles. Well, that too. That too.
I see a lot of color change in your stool.
I will taste the rainbow. Yum, yum, yum.
More salt, please.
Delicious.
But yeah, great risk with this because they literally could be a spy on you in all places. That's terrifying.
Yeah, sure.
So what if it was hacked? Let's say, you feel comfortable with it and you have all these robots around and there's a real strict, guideline of how they're built and how much they can record and save. But hey, if they're hacked and they're already a walking, microphone
and video camera,
that's a bad thing.
And weapon.
So they may be manufactured and most likely in another country. And so some of this technology could be put into them already, and then you never know.
Yeah, and then who knows, man, like when it comes to, like, I assume the military is going to have a whole bunch of robots too. What if those things go rogue?
I mean, I'm all for a robot army if you're going to actually have hand-to-hand combat.
Please leave the 18-year-olds at home. Let them stay home and make
Be
Etsy
worthless
bracelets.
and let robots replace them.
Yeah, I'm fine with that because they are going to die out there, right? I don't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's still that potential of no matter what strict guidelines go into them being built, there's always a potential of them being hacked.
For sure.
Used for spying, criminal activity. I mean, China loves this kind of stuff.
Oh, heck yeah.
They're going to be all about supporting, like, let's build more robots, put it in an American home.
Send them to you for free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure freaking my dad's probably looking to buy one on Temu right now.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But they'll be integrated in all aspects of our lives. Like you were saying, it's like in your bathroom, in your bedroom,
in your hallway,
literally at your workplace, at your place of worship. It's like they're going to be
your car is going to be a robot.
It is a robot already, basically. But yeah, so scary. But what are some of the things that you can do? And we'll go into much more detail on this. But like, harden your home security. It's like if those robots go rogue, the less digital stuff that you're using in your home could be a protective, preventative protection. Manual deadlocks, doors, safes, keeping things safe. Those stupid robots, you don't want them in that safe.
Yeah.
So
I don't. Yeah.
And then stay low tech when necessary. Like people love to just release all about them online.
Yeah.
And if AI through these robotics can access all of that and knows even more about you. Probably knows where you've been storing or putting your manual deadlocks and where you purchased them and all that stuff. But yeah, don't reveal every aspect of your life on the intranets.
I thought that's what Facebook was for.
Learn to live without these items. Robotics will be nice. And obviously, we're all into buying things to make our lives more convenient.
Yeah, heck yeah.
But we always talk about you need to learn to live without these things. Like, learn to live if you didn't have them as well. It's like, okay, it's convenient, but I don't want to depend fully on this.
For sure. You're right.
But once it starts cooking my meals and making decisions on what meals to cook,
I
ain't going back.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Tough to go back.
Yeah,
right?
So, and then the other thing is, what if they become physical and they turn against you? So military AI, law enforcement robots, or hacked humanoids could become a serious threat. It's like, it terrifies me to think of like a military robot with a flamethrower going rogue.
It's like the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't a great movie.
It wasn't. So if in the wrong hands, they could be a real serious weapon or force to deal with.
I mean, look at iRobot. Like, really, go back and look at that film.
It's it shows you what happens, and that's not even like a human behind it. It's like it's the AI itself. It's like, you know what, we're gonna take over everything. Humans are problems. And we'll later talk about like some possible defense physically too, which is pretty cool. And then autonomous weapons and AI-controlled warfare. Machines make decisions without human oversight. Like, that's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, although most humans are pretty shitty at making decisions
anyway.
anyway.
That's so true. Yeah.
So there's that.
And this all sounds pretty far-fetched, but as preppers, we have to consider the worst-case scenario. We have to think ahead. And that's hopefully the whole, this is what you get out of this. I know, we're talking about some crazy stuff.
But dude, it's not really that far-fetched.
No,
like the predictions are there. Like people are spending millions and millions of dollars to make these things.
Yeah.
they wouldn't do it if they didn't think
there's
it
no
was
future
possible.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. And so it's kind of crazy to think. I just saw something the other day that made me laugh. It was like somebody had posted, they're like, is ChatGPT just managing and running all of the social media? And like, sometimes I think so.
I think it is.
It's crazy when you look at some of the videos, you're like, is this real?
Mm-hmm. Dude, it's nuts.
Even more than like my dad now. Is that real?
Yeah. I don't trust
They
nothing.
believe everything and don't believe everything.
Bring back Reagan. This is ridiculous. You know what else is ridiculous? Electrolyte deficiency. You want to know why? Because it can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, and weakness. And as people who want to be prepared and ready for the robot uprising, the last thing you need is something that will slow you down when you need to be ready the most. That's why we at Casual Preppers have teamed up with Element. It is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing that you don't. We think Element is perfect for bug-out bags and EDC kits because it contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 mgs of magnesium. Casual Preppers listeners can get a free Element sample pack when you make any purchase through our exclusive Casual Preppers link. That's one packet of every flavor. You get to taste the rainbow here, Cam, like we talked about. You can get this offer
analyzed by a
you get it
robot.
analyzed. You can get it the first time, the 10th time, the 100th time you buy. You just got to use our link. And our link is drinklmnt.com/casual preppers. Get your order, your free sample pack with any purchase. Drinkelement.com/casual preppers.
Perfect.
You're right.
Urine is well balanced. Have you been drinking Element?
Good job. So let's talk about what kinds of robots actually might help us in survival. Because I think there's going to be some things coming down the pike here that's really going to help.
They talk about survival robots.
These idiots.
I'm done.
I don't like this.
Support them, don't support them.
Who cares?
Bunch
Bunch of Democrats anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Not all robots are bad news, Cam. Some of them are great.
Yeah.
Right? Some could actually play a role in your survival plan if you choose to integrate them. You're going to have to choose that, obviously. And I assume like much of the older generation is going to be very standoffish with this stuff.
Dude, as soon as that robot dog is affordable and can pack like all my gear, it's all
have two of them.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We can just walk and enjoy the sights.
I'm going to get a
and
dog
the
box in the back of my truck.
Pack dog thing.
Oh, so freaking cool. So let's look at some of these. How about AI-enhanced food production? I looked some of this up. We're looking at probably 5 years out for most of this tech. Some of it's here right now. And that's things like, not necessarily robots, but automated greenhouses in irrigation systems. They even have planting bots that are being used in agriculture right now, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
But for preppers, that could mean growing more food with less manual labor, right? Especially if you're aging, you're injured, or you're managing a large homestead. You get yourself a farm bot. Like, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That would be awesome.
Pretty sweet. How about disaster response
A
bots?
de-weeding farm bot.
Mhm.
That's all. If I could get one just to
pull weeds.
I'm all over.
Be beautiful. Disaster response bots, and these are probably 10 years out, but there are developers working on robots right now that can navigate rubble, search for survivors, and assist in crisis zones. So these could be huge assets in like a post-disaster scenario of some
Huge
sort.
earthquake
Yeah,
or something.
assuming that you can get your hands on one and keep it running. But if you had one of those, like, boo, pretty awesome. And the medical assistance, we've talked about some stuff that's already happening with healthcare and robots, but there's some stuff that's going to be in your home very soon, like within the next 5 years. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to make urgent care kind of not needed quite as much.
Okay. Just kidding.
Cam loves this. So like for remote or even off-grid preppers, having access to a simplified version of this tech that could mean better emergency care when you're on your own. Because look, they have these physical health robots in the next 5 years. They're going to have AI fitness and posture coaches. This is like smart mirrors. Have you seen those things?
Yeah.
Holy crap, so
Yeah,
crazy.
they're pretty crazy.
Medication reminders.
You look fat today.
Still look fat. And pill dispensing robots. There's already one called Pillow, and it dispenses your pills for you every day, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And then simple health monitoring bots for like vital sleep and fall detection. All of those things are on the way in the next 5 years. 5 to 10 years, we have robots that are going to assist with mobility, bathing, and dressing. So basically, we're talking about elder care here, right? Not Elder Scrolls, Cam. Elder care.
You know that it's going to be like stuff like people like us buying them.
I know.
Put my clothes on.
Just laying there like a lazy ass every morning.
Just like watching news while it's putting your pants on.
Play a podcast while you do this, please.
Get that shoe on right. Yeah. There we go.
Double knot, dummy.
It's just got shoe horns as hands.
That's a Seinfeld thing. Have you ever seen that one?
Really?
I wish I had shoehorn hands.
Is it really?
Yeah, Kramer says that.
That's weird.
It's just so funny that you said that.
That is weird that I said that and hadn't seen the episode.
In-home diagnostic tools with AI interpretation, so they're going to have like ultrasounds and ECGs.
That's great for people with like chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
Like, check that EKG again.
Yeah, just go
I feel
for
like
it.
my heart, my arm's going numb.
Physical therapy bots that guide rehab exercises with real-time feedback.
That's cool.
10 plus years is going to blow your mind, Cameron. Fully autonomous elder care robots handling hygiene, lifting, and caregiving. Basically,
I like
it's
this.
a nurse.
This is the system that I want. To
Smart
get
home integration for continuous health tracking and response. Robotic first aid systems with emergency response capabilities. So, like, if you have a heart attack, it can actually treat you in the next
awesome.
10 years.
Just shock you and everything.
Yeah,
It's got a
everything.
battery in there.
Dispense a, aspirin, shock you.
Do all the CPR perfectly like this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Updating CPR procedures. Hold on. Because they update every 2 minutes, it feels
Seriously.
like. They're also going to have robots for mental health. So, like, right now, they have, like, AI chatbots and emotional support bots. And I actually heard a study yesterday saying that it was actually, like, 3% more effective than a real counselor. Dude.
I can't see that being... I'm interested to see how this stuff plays out.
Yeah, and me too. Companion.
Because I do think people need the human-to-human interaction.
I agree. But
there's
some
so
problems.
many parts of emotional support that is kind of nonsense too. You know what I mean? It's like an AI thing could really be helpful to fill the gap.
Yeah, to fill the gap for sure. Companion robots for seniors and isolated users. VR, AR therapy sessions.
That's when you'll
AI.
see the first robotic suicide.
Exactly. Probably, huh?
It's like,
don't know.
rips its own head off.
Killed self.
They keep asking, who's outside?
Yeah. In the next 5 to 10 years, robots that read facial expressions and tone to respond empathetically.
I know. I've seen that stuff's crazy.
In-home bots that monitor behavior for early warning signs on different diseases and stuff like that. Mental health assistance in schools, clinics, and workplaces. So,
you're about to crap your pants.
I'll get the
I can
diapers.
see you're walking.
I'll get the diapers.
Just here's a rumble. It's like, you are 2 minutes from crapping your pants.
The neighbors heard that one.
Give me a robot. I want one.
I do. Drones and surveillance, obviously, right now, they can help monitor rural preppers guarding a large area. Great stuff right now. Robots equipped with AI navigation and local threat analysis could become your personal recon team, basically scouting dangerous areas.
That sounds awesome.
Mapping efficient bug-out routes on the fly and monitoring weather and movement patterns in real time. So basically, you have like a little
front
bug-out
line
robot.
that can do everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And a lot of this can be done offline, they think, in the future, which would be even better.
Yeah.
Right? So what's the takeaway here as preppers? Like, this tech can...
Invest in robotics.
Invest in robotics,
and energy.
This tech
Battery
can
power.
really be a powerful, like, force multiplier for preparedness, but you have to be in control of it, right? You have to understand it. You'll need to decide how much of it to allow into your preparedness strategy. You can go all in on all these automated systems, or you can keep things super minimal and super manual. I think the key to all this is really just being intentional and understanding what the trade-offs are with all of this stuff, right?
I think so too.
So Cam mentioned this real quick, but how do you keep yourself safe from all this tech? Because it is a little bit scary, right? You got all these robots and you got all these smart devices. They're going to get more advanced and they're going to be more intrusive into every piece of our lives. And if you're not careful, they can become vulnerabilities instead of assets that we need. So some things you can think about is limiting access to your private spaces. You don't need a robot in every room, maybe. Think twice before, giving a robot or a smart device access to your home, your routine, your personal data. Some things don't need to be automated, Cam, okay? Secure your digital footprint. Use encrypted messaging. Limit what devices are connected to the internet. Like, you don't necessarily have to have a fridge and a microwave and an oven and a sink that all connect to the internet.
I know.
Although I do.
I do too.
It is what it is. So then be mindful of like microphones and cameras and anything that could be listening, even if it's like your vacuum cleaner. All of those things
so crazy
are connected, right? We're going to talk about this more in the next episode, actually. Have manual backups for everything. whether that's power or water or navigation or communication. This is obvious. This is stuff that we've talked about all the time. But these should all have low-tech analog backups. Because if the grid goes down or systems get hacked, you need to keep functioning.
And just thinking how much more the grid is going to be taxed with charging, and it's going to have to be a lot more robust than it is
You're
right
now. Yeah. The thing is, technology, it's a tool. It can't be a crutch. You can't just rely on it all the time. So even if you choose to use these robots or these AI systems, always build in ways to function without them, right? Assuming if something can fail, it will fail at some point for you. And then can't mention, what if these robots do go rogue? What if they are coming at you? And that's a possibility. It's not I know we're saying this maybe it's this crazy thing, but who knows?
It could.
We don't know.
Or one just goes a little goofy, and it's not directly trying to hurt you, but it could hurt you.
They make mistakes, they malfunction, or there's malicious intent that's hacked into them in some way, right? I mean, who knows? If we stay friends with AI long term, we don't know, right? Because AI is going to be powering all of these robots. And so that's a question.
The way we talk to it now, it's probably not going to be our friend.
And my ChatGPT does not like me. Right now, especially this week. We've had our differences this week. We've had some problems. But know their physical limitations. Obviously, right now, when you watch the videos, they struggle with things like stairs, and rough terrain, and water, and extreme weather. So run up the stairs.
Yeah.
That robot ain't going to catch you.
Yeah.
You're pretty darn quick. Well, some of you are.
Grind down the...
Oh, yeah, grind down the rail.
Yeah. You're going to be gone.
Until they learn how to grind.
That's true. Actually, grinding makes more sense for them.
Yeah. But they have weak spots, and you could take advantage of those things in a defensive situation. You can also use things like signal jammers, maybe EMP protection type stuff, physical barriers that can interfere with robot operation. This doesn't have to be super high tech to be effective here.
A rifle.
A rifle. Sure, a rifle. A karate chop.
Yeah.
If it's hard enough. Okay. Who knows? If things ever do go sideways, you should know where to target if you have your rifle.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or your karate chop.
I want to know the weak points.
The joints, right? The sensors, the battery packs, and the processors, all of those things. That's what you want to go after. You don't want to go after the eyes. There's probably nothing there. It's just a light, LEDs. That's all it is.
Just a big camera and a hard drive.
Exactly. This might feel like overkill now, but knowledge is always better than panic later. So what is our takeaway?
This is the funner part, actually.
It's so much fun, yeah. You don't need to be paranoid. You just have to be ready for this stuff. If you choose to allow tech into your plan, you should also know how to control, isolate, and shut it down if necessary. And it's we're not saying that you have to reject robots. You have to go full Terminator prepper. I don't like any of it. I don't have a TV in my house.
So there's plenty of that already.
Yeah, we're saying know what you're dealing with. Decide what role, if any, this tech should play in your prepping. Build your systems to support that decision, not blindly follow convenience.
Yeah,
some of us do that.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So along with that, in preparing yourself, not with, full-on swords that can pierce robot armor.
Yeah.
But future future-proof your skills and finances.
Sure.
Avoid automation-sensitive jobs.
That's tough sometimes.
Sometimes that is what you're in. And what I would encourage you to do if you are in those is to learn what maybe your company's deciding to do. Be part of the AI integration, the robotics. You could be, one of the team leaders on replacing these jobs, but they would still keep you on because of your past knowledge.
They're going to have human integrators.
Yeah. Because I've tried it, even in my job, I've tried to learn how they're integrating AI. We're starting to do it now, which I think is kind of cool. I don't even know if I told you that. They have medical notes that say, this is what the diagnoses that we suspect using AI. It also concludes that this could be it's being put together. So it's be part of that.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of it.
It's going to happen, and pushing against it's just going to get you fired quicker.
I'm trying to become part cyborg, basically.
You kind of have to. You kind of have to.
Me and ChatGPT are one.
Yep. They are.
Yeah.
He yells at it all the time.
Yeah, and it yells at me.
They're like a married couple.
Yeah.
Diversify income streams. Obviously, this is something everybody tries to do and we talk about, but single paycheck, try to replace or try to not only rely on that single job that you
That's
have.
tough. I know
It is tough.
but it's so hard.
But it's like
Really
start
is.
looking into some of these things of like investing or rentals and things like that.
Even
Side
just
hustles.
being aware that your job might possibly be taken
You have
and
to.
understanding it.
Yeah.
That's the first step.
There's a lot of jobs and a lot of people out there that don't think that
No.
their job is susceptible to being
Yeah.
replaced. Almost all of them are.
You
So
lying.
you need to look
Yeah.
ahead, and that's hopefully what you get out of this
Yeah.
whole thing. And then have a plan for power grid failures.
Yeah.
You know, unless they come up with some new strategies and new batteries, which they probably will.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a huge tax on the electrical grid, and so it's like prepare for power outages.
Mm-hmm.
Higher demand on the infrastructure, higher risk of collapse. Solar generators, ice generators, internal combustion generators, you know, learning to live without electricity. Like all of it goes back to some of our old prepper skills.
Yeah.
Develop low-tech living skills.
Yeah.
Understanding that like gardening's still important. Mechanics, fixing things on your own. Analog security will all still be essential.
Be able to write a social media post
Yeah.
without ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can't do it.
Yeah. Nah.
The other thing is development of skills is still important, and it always will be. Like, not everybody's gonna be able to afford a robot. There's probably gonna be communities that like outlaw them and stuff
Sure.
like that. So it's
Yeah.
like you're still gonna be valuable if you know how to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so don't put that aside. And then we've already kind of talked about this, but like hardening your privacy online and being protective of that. VPNs, encrypted mail, messages, and stuff like that just helps not only you from like hackers and other a-holes, but AI starts using that. It could be used against you too.
Yeah, the robots can access all that junk.
And then secure your home from automated threats. Don't make everything automated. Don't have
Like your
cameras
locks
and
and
everything.
cameras
There's
and-
so much stuff that connects to online, like you
Toilet.
said. It's got like a toaster that's connecting to
They do.
online. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So maybe be cautious about doing that or do it through like a VPN
Sure.
and then limit your data footprint. Minimize your online presence. Everything a robot knows or can access about you could be possibly used against you.
In a court of law.
Yeah, exactly. But there's some ways that you can plan really well for this. You can get Mad Gear Co. It is redefining preparedness with their contingency planner, a must-have tool for anyone serious about being ready for robot takeover or other things. Whether it's a hurricane, power outage, wildfire, unexpected emergency, this planner is built to help you organize every detail of your plan. That's so important. This isn't just a notebook. It's a durable step-by-step guide for organizing your emergency plans, from food storage, water supplies, to communication strategies and evacuation routes. It's all in one place. It ensures nothing is overlooked. Proudly 100% American-made, the contingency planner features tough, weather-resistant, right-in-the-rain paper. Basically, it'll last forever. Stands
You're
up to
right.
dirt, water, and other elements. And with Mad Gear Co. being family and veteran owned, you're supporting American craftsmanship and values. You're protecting against robotics and things like that.
Exactly.
Be ready for whatever comes your way. Visit madgear.shop to grab your contingency planner today. MAD Gear Co. Redefining preparedness for when SHTF. Use code Casual Preppers for that discount. Do it.
Beautiful.
Oh, my voice, man,
It's
is
going
toast.
away.
I need a
We got
robot
one more
in here.
podcast to
I
do.
need a
too,
robot
but-
up in here.
So what's the big takeaway in this whole thing? These humanoid robots, it's not theory. These things are here. They're becoming a reality. And whether they're here to help us, replace us, or threaten us, that depends on how you prepare for them. So they're going to change how we survive, whether it's your jobs, your healthcare, security, your privacy, all that kind of stuff. It's not like prepping. Again, this is why we're doing this whole series. It's not just about food and water. We've got to start thinking in terms of digital risk, job automation, AI surveillance, this robotic tech, and all this stuff. It can impact our ability to stay alive and stay independent. So it's really important, and adaptability is everything here. So we have a listener challenge, Cameron, and we're really excited about it. Spend some time this week researching the coming wave of humanoid robotics. Just take a little time, not just the headlines, like the real world implications for you. Pick one or two areas to focus on. Maybe it's like, how are these going to be used in healthcare or law enforcement?
Maybe
or
just
the
look at
military?
what your career is and see how robotics are being integrated.
Exactly. That takes 2 minutes. And, which companies are leading the way, understand that. What privacy, job, or security concerns experts are raising, and how preppers or off-grid communities are thinking about this tech right? Very, very important. So just take some time, and how can this help me in survival? How can this put me at risk? And what steps can I take now to incorporate or guard against those things?
Yeah. Get involved now. Maybe it'll be like a huge change for your career.
Yeah, for sure. So robots are a deal. They're a thing.
They are.
And my wife thinks I'm a robot. I had to mention that here. She calls me a robot. So I guess it's just there, my brothers and sisters coming.
She may buy something to replace you.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyways, that's all we got. Anything else, Cam?
Nope.
Beautiful.
Watch out.
Thanks for listening. Stay survived.